Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In yesterday's episode, we showed off this really awesome Porygon Z team, so we're just playing a couple more games with it today. You can learn more in the description below, as well as follow the creator of the team, Fevzi, both on Twitter and Twitch. So, let's jump into today's episode. We got a couple of nice wins yesterday that really highlighted just how good Porygon Z can be. So let's see what we can do in today's episode. In the first game, we're going up against Tailwind stuff, and it's a pretty bulky team actually. Like normally with Tailwind, you'll see really offensive sweepers like Dragapult, Cinderace, something like Togekiss maybe. But my opponents, I think main max mons are going to be the Gyarados and the Corviknight, with Rillaboom potentially maxing. Corviknight's a problem here for us. It's a very big problem, actually, in which I think our best answer against it is pretty much the Rotom. However, Rotom as a lead is actually really compelling, because one thing I could consider going for is like Rotom Clefairy, Nasty Plot, and then just sweep through with Rotom. I honestly like the idea of Dynamaxing Rotom in this game. It's a must-bring regardless. So I'm thinking Rotom, Clefairy, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. Basically playing full support to Rotom in this match. And the main reason for this one, there's two main reasons. One is because Porygon doesn't fare too well into Corviknight. It can bounce back the speed drops. And then Milotic can also capitalize off the boosts. Or the drops, I should say, by potentially activating competitive there. I think if we had Max Lightning on the Porygon, I'd consider bringing it, but yeah, it has Trick Room, and someone asked yesterday, like, why even run Trick Room, and, against specific scenarios in which, like, this obviously isn't a Trick Room team, but one, you can use it to reverse opposing Trick Rooms, and two, if you're going up against, like, super hyper offense, like, if there was a Cinderace on my opponent's team, I'd actually consider, for example, just going with Porygon and trying to Trick Room. There's gonna be Arcanine and Whimsicott, which is fine by me. Rotom is not in any immediate threat. So, we're going to get into the first game of today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. Question of the day, by the way, I'm curious what Pokemon or strategies you kind of struggle using. If it's a Pokemon that you just, no matter how much you try, you just consistently feel like it's kind of tough to use. That's kind of what I'd like to know. So, let me know in the comments below. Nasty Plot Protect turn 1 is to play because there's a potential taunt coming up from Whimsicott. I don't think Rotom's in any immediate threat of damage. So, yeah, I kind of like Nasty Plot Protect turn 1. I think it's going to be Snarl Tailwind, but Whimsicott might also taunt or Moonblast into Clef. Yep, and there's taunt. Perfect. So I'm expecting Snarl. Yep. That's fine by me, because now I can just go for another Nasty Plot this subsequent turn. Yeah, get to +2. Probably gonna taunt Clef again. So I could switch on into Incineroar. That bypasses the taunt, and then I can fake out the subsequent turn. Actually, going to Rillaboom might make more sense, just for to conserve Incineroar's Intimidate. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a second Nasty Plot here, and switch out into Rillaboom. I guess the one risk of switching to Rillaboom is the off chance my opponent actually attacks with the Incineroar, but I think that's relatively unlikely. So we'll be at +2 special attack after this turn with Fake Out Pressure into Arcanine, which is pretty good. Okay. They're going to Tailwind this time around. That's fine. We're going to be slower in this matchup anyway. Snarl comes out. Rotom actually dodges it, so it's going to get to +3, which is really nice for us. Okay, so now this next turn I can Fake Out. Honestly, Whimsicott doesn't scare me at all. That doesn't really pose a problem to us. So I could Fake Out and just Thunderbolt into the Arcanine, but honestly I kind of want to switch the Rillaboom back out into Clefairy. I think because what my opponent basically positions themselves for right now is to get the Gyarados switch in. Question is actually whether I want to max immediately this turn, because I'm not actually taking that much damage. Fake Out and max Lightning into Arcanine is super safe here. But then if Gyarados comes in, you can just max the Gyarados, right? Which is kind of scary. Then I guess I could switch out into Clefairy. I don't think I need to Fake Out with Rillaboom here, actually. I think I can just switch out. So I'm going to go for the max Lightning into Arcanine and switch out into Clef. Okay, so Arcanine's staying in. It's probably just going for another Snarl, which I think makes a lot of sense. See if my opponent taunts me into the Clefairy slot. That would be a nice play on their end. I do have to watch out for in this game, though, because I don't have much damage outside of Rotom. So, like I said, this is pretty much a Nasty Plot / protect the Rotom kind of composition. I think I probably would have gone for a third Nasty Plot if the Snarl did not miss last turn, just to really make it able to one-shot everything on my opponent's team. But I think +2 Max Lightning should KO the Arcanine here. It's actually Taunt, so yeah, they're trying to cover for a potential another Nasty Plot there. And Will-O-Wisp comes out. Okay, nice. So we don't even end up taking a special attack drop, which means this is no doubt. I was thinking maybe Arcanine could survive a +2 Max Lightning. Nah, I think that's really unlikely, actually. Okay, so we get a one-hit KO immediately. Change the terrain, but that's fine. That was a great turn, I would say. So finally push the go button. The question is what my opponent has in the back. I think Gyarados is what I'm expecting. Clefairy being burnt here is obviously not a problem at all. And yeah, I love Rotom-Heat. It was one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the early season, and I brought it to Dallas Regionals. Milotic comes out, though, which makes me think my opponent does not have Gyarados. If so, then what they're probably trying to do is just stall out my Max. But I could just Max Lightning into Milotic here, and Follow Me is safer. I could Protect here again, though. Worst case is Milotic Max Guarding, or sorry, Protecting, and then Whimsicott taunting into Rotom. Or sorry, into Clef. Honestly, I think it might be fine to just Max Lightning and Protect here, because the Max Geyser isn't KOing Rotom anyway. I guess you could have Helping Hand Max Geyser, but I don't even think that knocks out. I'm going to play safe and Follow Me here. Even if Milo protects and you taunt into Clefairy, that's still fine. Oh, okay. It's just a forfeit. I don't think they needed a forfeit, unless Corviknight was their last one, which I think would make a lot of sense. So, that game was just a demonstration of how good Rotom could be. Porygon would have worked out as a lead as well, but the problem with Porygon in that game is my opponent can Tailwind Snarl turn 1. And once again, I didn't feel that great bringing Corviknight into a matchup where my opponent had Milotic. Bringing Porygon into a matchup where my opponent had Corviknight and Milotic. So, yeah. I don't think they needed a forfeit, though. I think that game was still far from over. But I guess if Corviknight is their last one, and like they don't have Fake Tears, if you called that one term incorrectly, and I KO the Milotic, the game is probably just instantly over. So I'm guessing my opponent had Corviknight in the back, because I was expecting both Corviknight and Milotic to come out in this matchup. And I feel like if you have Gyarados, you bring it in there, and then you go for Taunt onto the Clefairy, Max Guard with the Gyarados. But I think that was still a winnable matchup for my opponent. What you basically have to do is stall out my Max while also getting a Taunt off onto the Clefairy. But obviously, the first couple of turns were pretty much just amazing for us. Every turn going our way. But I think that is a matchup where, once again, because of the Pokemon I brought, I don't have much offense outside of Rotom. So if you're able to taunt the Clefairy because you have 2 Water-type Pokemon, you could potentially still pull it off. But yeah. If the Milotic also, for example, didn't have Protect, then that would also make some sense. Although I think one play you could make there is Max Guard Milotic, taunt the Clefairy, and then, I don't know, Max Geyser into Rotom the subsequent turn. Or go for a double Protect. Both are viable plays, I think. So, yeah, we didn't really use Rotom very much yesterday. I wanted to bring it out, like I said, into that last game. Didn't end up doing so. And we're up against the number 10 ranked opponent today. Okay. Classic Sun here. This might be a Rotom gimmick yet, actually. The goggles, I mean, it actually just walls everything bar Tyranitar. And we have pretty good anti-Tyranitar Pokemon in this matchup. So I don't think we bring Porygon. This is definitely a Rotom game. It's just, what do I support it with? Because I think it's probably to drop Rillaboom. So I go Rotom, Incineroar, Clef, and Urshifu is what I'm thinking of. So I like the Incineroar plus the Rotom lead. The other possibility is just Rotom plus Clef. Because what I can do with this is just Nasty Plot, Protect turn 1. That works too. Okay, Rotom, Clefairy, Urshifu, and Incineroar is what I'm thinking of here. Porygon's tempting. Because, like, Max Strike still one-shots pretty much, like, 4 of my opponent's Pokemon. Rillaboom is a tough bring here, given that there's, 4 resists. The only thing I'm really getting value of is against the Tyranitar, and I think, like, the Urshifu already accomplishes that, especially because it has Focus Sash. And because I'm thinking, like, I need Rotom in the Sun matchup, I can't really justify bringing Porygon. So, today is a Rotom kind of day. Pretty hyped to go up against such a high-ranked opponent, though. I can't remember the last time we went up against someone who was, like, top 10 on the ladder. So that's cool. Standard team composition, but these teams always have so much, so many different moves and sets that you can run. Venusaur with Life Orb, Focus Sash, Assault Vest even, like the one James Beck was running. Tyranitar Dusclops. It's a very bad lead for us here. It's a great lead by our opponent, I think. Yeah, so they read really hard into the Rotom counter, so they outled us completely here. So props to them. That's bad because they can set up Trick Room now as well. And I think it's most likely going to be Bulldoze as well. I don't really have any way around this, honestly. Like, I think Tyranitar, honestly, might just sweep us. Can at least go out into Incineroar here. This is so bad. That is pretty much the one hard counter to what I brought. But I don't even think I actually... The only way I get around this is by leading Porygon and Clef and going for Helping Hand Max Darkness turn 1. But this lead covers pretty much anything else my opponent could have led, so this was pretty much just like a nightmare lead matchup. I think the one way we can get around this is switching out into Incineroar. It's actually a double switch, I think. Because then at least what Urshifu does is pressure Tyranitar, and even if you get the Tyranitar to +1 with the Bulldoze, we get just switch the Incineroar back out into Clefairy, or sorry, into the into Clefairy next turn, and then Urshifu pressures Tyranitar with the close combat. So not a great lead here for us. But once again, I think my lead covers everything else. So just great awareness by my opponent to go specifically with that one lead that they did. So there should be Trick Room coming up. Yeah. I have no other play there. Clefairy and Rotom are doing absolutely nothing against this specific combination. So maybe I could have risked it with Porygon. Because like if I did lead Porygon and just Helping Hand Max Darkness turn 1, we're in a really, really good spot. But it kind of struggles against Venusaur Sleep Powder stuff. Although I think this is a good example of the similar situation to yesterday's episode, right? Where I was like, oh, I should have brought a Rotom, but in reality, Porygon was still fine. So, I don't know. I think Porygon Clef is still decent against the Sun mode, because you can at least redirect the Sleep Powder turn 1, sack Clefairy turn 2, and then get Fake Out, or, you know, any priority attack in the third turn. So I think Bulldoze comes out here. But I think going into Clefairy here is pretty safe, and even if you Bulldoze, you'll feint to a close combat. So I'm just going to swap back out into Clef. Because Rotom will actually beat our opponent's team very, very hard if we beat Tyranitar here. They max too, which is, I think, good for us. The only thing I'm worried about now is Ally Switch. That would be bad. Because we've intimidated Tyranitar, even if you Bulldoze it gets a +1, you can't KO Urshifu here, I don't think. Because of Friend Guard. Okay, it's just Bulldoze. That's what I want to see. I don't think Urshifu feints here. If it doesn't and we close combat to knock out Tyranitar, that's so good for us. Even if we don't KO, we can at least Aqua Jet pressure it. So let's see. Is it Max Rockfall, Max Knuckle? I'm expecting Knuckle into Urshifu. Yeah, but I think we survived this. I'm pretty sure. Nice. Not even close, baby. Honestly, we might have even survived without the Clef switch in, but I think I always switch in a Clef there. Okay, we get the close combat off. Alright, winnable game now. Winnable game now. Nice. This is, you know, a good example of if you run into a terrible lead matchup, you have to figure out what the best option is, right? I mean, you always have to figure out what the best option is Pokemon, so that's not great advice. But, you know, like, it's never just like a... Okay, I shouldn't say never, because sometimes lead matchups are really, really important to the point where if you lead incorrectly, depending on the matchup, it could be an auto loss. But it was looking really bad for us, but we managed to figure out one way to claw it back into this one. Because based off the leads, it looked terrible. Like, it really looked so bad. Okay, Venusaur comes out. That is okay. Because now what I want to do is basically pivot for a free switch-in into the Rotom. So what I'm going to do here is just protect. And I don't really need to conserve Urshifu. Urshifu's only role in this matchup was to beat the Tyranitar. So if I protect right now, that's really safe. And I'm thinking I can just Surging Strikes onto the Dusclops, but that might have Pain Split. So I think it's better to just go for any amount of chip damage onto the Venusaur. So instead I'm just going to Surging Strikes into Venusaur. I don't want to Strikes into Dusclops and just have it Pain Split all the damage back anyway in subsequent turns. Okay. Well, they go for Ally Switch. So we've seen Ally Switch Boulder's Trick Room, so it's either Nightshade or Pain Split. Oh, wait. Venusaur? Okay, this is Admin Urshifu, but it's still max attack. I'm surprised it outspeeds... Or Venusaur outspeeds us here, but that's good. I mean, we get a Surging Strikes off. Could even Helping Hand Strikes the next turn, then. Although I will be in KO range from Nightshade. I go for Sludge Bomb onto the Clef. Okay. I honestly want to conserve the Clefairy. Yeah. Venusaur outspeeds us. Okay. I think I'm going to go Clefairy out into Incineroar, because that would activate the Berry, and just go for another Surging Strikes here onto Dusclops. Actually, Aqua Jet might be better here. I feel like you'd have Nightshade over Pain Split. But I think Surging Strikes and switching out here is fine. Huh, Torkoal? Wow, that's even better for... What? Okay. That switch confuses me, but I guess it means that there's no Nightshade on the Dusclops, because if you have Nightshade, I think you just Nightshade into the Urshifu here. Now we're in a position where I think Rotom is amazing in the end game. So today's a Rotom game. Because I have the goggles too, so all I have to do is just set up a Nasty Plot max, and then Rotom should just one-shot everything at this point. Okay. Surging Strikes itself is still probably doing like 50% here as well, and I have Fake Out Pressure with the Incineroar. Like, the main thing that was just so good for us here was the Tyranitar actually committing to Dynamax. Okay, does just under 50%, but I think Fake Out strikes and then Aqua Jet KOs. It's gonna be Sludge Bomb. Okay, going into Urshifu, that's fine. Because now I get the Rotom in for free, right? So I can just Fake Out the, it's Life Orb Venusaur, yep. I get in Rotom, I Fake Out the Torkoal, I Nasty Plot, max, and then end the game. There's nothing my opponent can do against Rotom at this point. With one turn of Trick Room, it honestly might be safer to just Fake Out Torkoal and just Flare into the Venusaur. Because I don't think Venusaur is ever going to have Protect here. With Life Orb, you want Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Grass type attack, and Sleep Powder. So if I KO that, then you just don't have any damage against us anymore. Okay, they're going to switch out, which I think is a smart play. But I still don't really see a way around. Is there a way around? I mean, Nasty Plot there would have secured us the game. What was I worried about there? Sludge Bomb, Poison into Rotom, and then you outspeed us the subsequent turn. And then get another Sludge Bomb off. With Life Orb, that does a lot of damage, so I'd rather just put on pressure immediately, make sure I don't take any damage right now, because now the speed is in my favor. I think Flare might just KO the Dusclops and Sun, but then I can just Flare the Venusaur in the subsequent turn again. So this is pretty ideal. We don't want to give a free switch in here. I think I can actually go out into Clefairy as well. Let's see if this KOs. Beautiful. Yeah, now what I can do is just switch Incin out into Clef for Friend Guard, and then just Flare. So with that, like, even with crits, don't think there's anything to worry about. Yeah, I don't think Venusaur switching there also makes me think it doesn't have Protect, because otherwise I'm thinking you might have actually considered protecting. So let's go out into Clefairy here and Max Flare. So this is a really interesting Rotom set, right? You can see it doesn't have much special attack, much HP investment, but it has been so good, and part of the reason you can get away with not running as much HP investment is specifically because of Clefairy with Friend Guard, right? So it makes it bulkier than usual. There's the Earth Power, perfect. So that should be the game. Yeah, honestly, for what was a terrible lead matchup, like, Rotom was just so good in this matchup that the win condition was basically check Tyranitar. And my opponent actually didn't really have a great way around the Urshifu, actually, which is why Urshifu is actually such a compelling Pokemon, right? Ability to one-shot a Dynamax Pokemon just so strong. There is going to be Yawn on the, the Rotom, or sorry, the, not the Rotom, the Torkoal. But what I can do is just go out into Incineroar and Max Lightning. Because Torkoal has to protect here. I'm switching out into Incineroar because that pressures with Fake Out in the subsequent turns. I guess with Body Press, this thing is still scary, but there's no way you do enough damage to me at this point. Even if you protect, Max Lightning does a little bit of chip, and then I have Fake Out Pressure to stall out one turn of sleep, and then I can just, like, go for pretty much any attack. Torkoal does have Protect, though. You know, some Yawn Torkoals will run Yawn Body Press and then 2 attacks. I'm curious if it has a berry here if it's Yawn. Unfortunately, we'll still be put to sleep with Max Lightning despite having Max Lightning because we're not grounded. We're not grounded. But this also means that you can't put anything else to sleep now, which is valuable. Are you buried? Let's see. Nope. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I can just fake out Torkoal now, burn a turn of sleep on the Rotom, and you're just not doing any damage into Rotom with Torkoal. I'd also just consider Flare Blitzing the Sun here, but I'd rather fake out. I think fake out's guaranteed chip damage as well. Yeah, that's not bad. There's the first turn of sleep. I'm expecting Body Press to come out from the Torkoal here onto the Incineroar slot. It could also go into Rotom because that's the main win condition, so U-turning here is pretty safe because that allows us to bring the Clef back in for Friend Guard. I mean, it's 3v1. It obviously looks very good, but you just want to consider every possibility of, like, I don't know, Body Press getting huge crits here. I don't think Heat Wave even knocks out the Clefairy here. And yeah, we're not doing much damage to Torkoal. Okay, it is actually Figgy Berry, or one of the few on berries, but there's no way I'm ever not activating the berry there, so might as well just get it out of the way right now. Yeah, so by bringing in Clef, it means I prevent further, like, even a Body Press crit here I don't think KOs Rotom, and then I can just go for Follow Me next turn to stall out the last turn of sleep. There's Body Press, yep. Into Rotom, yep. And yep. Perfect. Okay, so let's just Follow Me now. That nasty plot. Even with a 3-turn sleep, I'm pretty sure we still win this. So let's see. Do we wake up? Nope. That's fine. I can just Helping Hand Thunderbolt next turn. They're going for Yawn, but yeah, you can't go for that because of Electric Terrain. So now we can just Helping Hand Thunderbolt. I think that's a KO, even if not. Torkoal can't heal at this point. Yeah, nice. So just wanted to play carefully there because there was one way where like maybe we could lose if I don't switch in Clefairy and you get a critical hit with Body Press onto Rotom. I think that was like my one fear, so that's why I was just playing defensively and making these switches. Pretty much no reason to not go for those kind of plays, you know? Anytime you're in an endgame like that, you just want to consider what the worst case scenario is and basically play around that worst case scenario. So really solid games today. I mean, that lead matchup looked really bad, but in the end it worked out. The ally switch was the one fear I had. If Dusclops has ally switch there and it does ally switch and I end up close combating into it and the Tyranitar gets a Knuckle boost, then you can just go for Bulldoze Max Knuckle again the subsequent turn, and that's really, really bad for us, I think. So fortunately it didn't end up having ally switch, so we take those. But tough to fit ally switch onto a set like that when you've got Nightshade, or sorry, when you've got Trick Room and Bulldoze. So yeah. Okay. Although they did end up having ally switch. What am I saying? I totally forgot they went for ally switch later on in the game. So had they just gone for ally switch the turn we close combat, I think we would have lost that game. So I'm kind of surprised. I think they were probably just expecting to KO the Urshifu with the Knuckle. I think this might be James Eeks, who, if you guys don't know, is a really cool content creator. He's been streaming like full-time on Twitch. So I've linked... I'm pretty sure, because this is the team that I associated with him. I've linked his stuff in the description below if this is indeed him. Did we go 3 for 3 on Rotom today? Gyarados is scary here. Could just go Porygon, but the problem with Porygon is the Dragapult. I really want to go Rotom. Rotom, Clef. Well, I guess my damage output against Dragapult sucks without Porygon. Alright, let's go Porygon, Clef, Rotom. I don't think Rillaboom is the call. Incineroar? Yeah, I think we gotta go Incineroar because we have to have 1 have Intimidate for the Gyarados, 2 have damage against the Dragapult, and 3 have super effective Flare Blitzes into Amoonguss and Magnezone. So, I don't know, I think Porygon is a decent call here as well, because it does have Max Darkness into Dragapult, but then you're playing the guessing games of what to do on turn 1, basically, if Dragapult comes out as a lead, which is the case. So, Fevzi, who's the creator of this team, me, Fevzi, and James Eeks all played in a tournament. Wait, okay, I led Porygon. For some reason, I thought I led Rotom. It's been a long day, guys. So, this is so interesting, because in the finals of the tournament me and Fevzi played in, he literally just went for, like, protect Max Darkness into Dragapult turn 1. Because Max striking into Amoonguss here is the safest play, right? But Amoonguss could protect here. Dragapult could just go for a Phantom Force, though. I might actually double protect. Because this baits out their Max and baits out a potential protect from Amoonguss. Okay, Dragapult maxes. So one play I was thinking is just helping had Max Darkness there in a Dragapult. I wanted to see who was maxing and where the protect was coming out of. But yeah, if I help me on Max Darkness there, we KO Dragapult if Amoonguss doesn't Rage Powder. I mean, yeah, I think because of Dragapult, I have to lead Porygon. I was talking about Rotom this whole time, which is funny. Okay. It should, I mean, it's going to be Phantasm into Clef most likely. Maybe Wormwind into Porygon. And Amoonguss didn't protect. Goes for Airstream, okay. I think I can just Helping Hand Max Strike this next turn into Amoonguss. Frustrating though, because a Max Strike there would have been great. Although I don't mind this too much, because I did just burn a turn of Max immediately from Dragapult, and it didn't do that much. I guess what's actually tricky here is you have to, you can't Wormwind. I think the safest play is to just target Clef here. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna Helping Hand Max. My only fear is if it's really speedy Amoonguss and it actually outspeeds Porygon at +2 speed. That may be the case, honestly, based off that turn 1 play. Let's see. Dragapult actually doesn't really do that much damage, so it's actually not that much of a threat. That's why we needed Incineroar in the back as well, because Incineroar actually fares very well against regular Dragapult in the late game. How fast is your Amoonguss? Let's see. I could have gone for a Rage Powder here then. Maybe I should have. Because I think he Airstreams again. No, he Phantasms. Okay. Oh, it might be Sash Amoonguss. That would be bad. Sash Amoonguss would not be fun here. If it's not Sash, I think we're in a great spot though, honestly. Kind of expecting it to be Sashed right now. Yeah. That explains why they why he made that play turn 1 too. Because like you're guaranteed the Spore basically. So nice play. Nice play. Yeah, they're Sporing a Porygon. It's not good. I mean, I protect Clef here, I think. Actually, switching out is interesting. And you probably just Spore. I don't want Rotom to take a defense drop though, so yeah, I think I'm going to protect. Wormwind goes into Porygon right now, I think. With the defense drop, it's going to do a lot, but it's not going to be enough for a knockout. Plus, we have 1 extra turn of Max on Porygon, so I don't want to switch out immediately. I actually think attacking here might also be okay. We're going to get put to sleep anyway, and I think you target the Porygon here. Yeah. Sash Amoonguss. I could have gone Clef Rotom then, Nasty Plot, turn 1, Protect. But no, I take so much damage. Okay, Amoonguss actually switches out. Into Incineroar, okay. Yeah, if we get a 1-turn Wake, I mean, this is totally still super doable. It's just that I kind of need Porygon for damage into the Dragapult. Okay, he opts for the Phantasm into Clef. So I could have protected there. However, us fainting there isn't necessarily terrible because it does give us a free switch in now into our Incineroar, so we can just fake out. So if we get a 1-turn Wake Up, honestly, this game is super, super doable. If not, though, it gets trickier because then I don't have great damage anymore. I also could have, no, I was going to say consider Trick Room turn 1, but I think that's kind of a crazy play. So the Airstream was really cool because it means that the Amoonguss outspeeds. Like, what I do here is just fake out Incineroar, Max Darkness into Dragapult. If we wake up, I think we actually probably win the game. If not, then it's looking a lot tougher. So, let's just go for that. Curious on the item on Dragapult. I'm thinking Weakness Policy. Okay. Stays in with both. Oh, he could go for Phantom Force here, but that wouldn't actually really do very much. Just Dragon Claw. Okay, that's fine. So much damage, though. And we wake up! Okay, let's get it. Nice. Lucky 1-turn Wake Up for us in this game, but we kind of needed that. Yeah. Dragon Claw did so much there. Like, if we don't wake up there, what I probably do the next turn is Protect and then just, like, Lash Out into the Dragapult, but I don't think that's enough for a knockout. It's probably weakness policy. So we get a little bit lucky there. I'm trying to think what I could have done better lead-wise, because Sash Amoonguss plus Dragapult I think is really tough as a lead, especially because of the Airstream stuff. If you don't have Airstream, then what I could do is just probably double up onto Amoonguss turn 1. Gyarados is the last one, so this is still kind of tricky, although Porygon should outspeed right now, right? So I can just get a Hyper Beam off right now. We know Amoonguss is the last one. If we KO Gyarados, Rotom wins this. But Gyarados could totally protect here. Okay, here's what we do. We U-turn into Incineroar and Hyper Beam. Because if Gyarados protects, then by U-turning, I cycle in the Incineroar again. I can just fake out Gyarados and plot. Yeah, so Gyarados protects, but that's fine. I think you have to KO the Porygon here. Maybe... I could have protected with my Porygon, but the one fear of that is... And the great thing here is now we ignore Rage Powder with the Rotom as well. So then what I can do next turn is just fake out Nasty Plot, or fake out Thunderbolt. Probably want to lean towards Nasty Plot though. I guess the Gyarados has to switch out this next turn. So there's Burning Jealousy. Okay. Crits Porygon, I don't think that mattered. The Gyarados Protector is super obvious, but I didn't know the item on it, so I don't know if it's valuable to actually target the Incineroar there. Because the problem now is I think you cycle out the Gyarados for you cycle out the Gyarados, and then the question is, does Gyarados actually outspeed the Rotom here? Incineroar could also U-turn. Leaning towards Nasty Plot and Flare Blitz here. Do I have a better play? I think Gyarados definitely switches. He might make a big read and think, like, I'm going to expect this. But if I fake out Thunderbolt into Gyarados, it's not looking great. Maybe I should have targeted Incineroar there. I was thinking the Instinct Gyarados Rotom endgame would be fine, but I'm not so confident in that right now. Let's see. Oh, he stayed in. Wow. Yep, he made a hard call out there this turn. Maybe fake out into Gyarados is safer. Yeah, actually fake out is definitely safer. We were even faster with the Rotom. So I think yeah, because this is max offense and he's Life Orb Gyarados. Okay, yeah. I think fake out Nasty Plot there is always better. So Rotom would have cleaned this game up, but yeah, I don't think he needed to make a big play there. But actually, because we outspeed with Rotom, yeah, I can see why he played that way. Yeah, and I think this Rotom actually might be max speed. So I was worried about Gyarados outspeeding us, but if Gyarados outspeeds us, like, he wins the game anyway, I think. So that was just a great play on his end. Yeah, this is max speed Rotom. So I should have just Thunder... I didn't need to... Yeah, I think, like, fake out into Gyarados and Nasty Plot there is super safe because it covers every option. Even if you Snarl us, Rotom just cleans up the game because we outspeed Gyarados. So I kind of tossed that off some poor play with Rotom there in the end. So, well done. That was a great call out on, I'm pretty sure we're playing James here on his end. Yeah, so fake out into Gyarados and Nasty Plot is always a better play because even if you switch out, I can just Thunderbolt Incineroar, Flare Blitz, and Amoonguss the subsequent turn, I think. So there's pretty much no reason to Nasty Plot on this turn because we're in threat of damage from the Gyarados' end. So, yeah. Played well with Rotom all the way up until this point, kind of tossed it in this last one, but learned some good lessons there. And yeah, like I said, he could go for the crazy play of staying in and attacking. He ended up going for it, so props to him. That was a really, really excellent play. So yeah, I think the main thing to take away though is, and I just want to double check Gyarados' space speed, because I'm pretty sure we outspeed max speed Dose, right? Yeah, we do. I forgot we were max speed on the Rotom, but even with that, there's no reason to Nasty Plot there, I think. Because, like, Incineroar is never putting out damage output anyway, so, yeah, I think James found the one play he could make to potentially win this one, which was really, really well done. But honestly, I think he played better than I did in this one. Plus, the matchup is pretty tough because of the Sash on the Amoonguss. The only reason we were even really in this was because we got a one-turn wake up there with the Porygon. If we don't get that wake up, I think things are looking a lot tougher. So, I think really well executed on his end, plus he made some really great plays. I'm thinking of how I beat Sash Dragapult, Sash Amoonguss plus Weakness Policy Dragapult as a lead. I could lead Incineroar and the Porygon, like fake out Strike turn 1, or predict him. It's always a mind game, I think. There's never a guaranteed safe play. I could have also very easily read into the Gyarados Protect. I don't know if the Max Strike is a KO onto Incineroar. He might have been Assault Vest. If it is, then it's not a KO. But the main mistake there is, yeah, because the Rotom is max speed, there's no reason to not be attacking there. Because at that point, Rotom just cleans up the game, right? It doesn't matter unless the Gyarados actually also has Dragon Dance. And then actually, James still has a win con. But if you don't have Dragon Dance, all I have to do is just Thunderbolt into that slot. Even if you switch into Amoonguss, I have the Goggles, so I don't really care about whatever the Amoonguss does in that position because it ignores it, and I outspeed and just KO the Gyarados. So, yeah, good play with Rotom all the way up to this point. Me blundering the speed there was kind of a big mistake. And I don't think I really needed to Nasty Plot because I don't need the extra damage against Incineroar until I KO the Gyarados. And once Gyarados goes down, we win the game, right? So, yeah. Nice call-out play on his end, though. That's a big boy play, and props to him for that one. So, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Rotom is really the star of today's episode, but glad to get a couple of cool games in with it. And, yeah, once again, go check out Fevzi. I'll link him in the description below. And I'm pretty sure that was James Zeke, so if that was, I want to confirm after this one. I've linked him in the description below as well. He streams pretty much every day on Twitch, so give him a follow. And he makes good YouTube content as well. I've linked his YouTube as well. So, thanks for watching this one, guys. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please show support by leaving a like, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.